In today's world, it can be tempting to wrap personal actions in spiritual motives, making it appear as though what we do is for the greater good or the brethren, rather than admitting that it is simply a personal preference or desire. However, the Bible speaks clearly about the importance of humility and the dangers of prideful self-justification. Proverbs 27:2 tells us, "Let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth a stranger, and not thine own lips." When we find ourselves broadcasting our actions under the guise of defending the faith or protecting others, are we truly standing up for what is right, or are we seeking self-justification and praise? The scriptures guide us toward letting our actions speak for themselves. If our motives are pure, there is no need to make a public display of them. Jesus himself emphasized this in Matthew 6:1-4. "Take heed that ye do not your alms before men, to be seen of them, otherwise ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. Therefore when thou doest thine alms, do not sound the trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory of men. Verily, I say unto you, they have their reward." Here, Jesus warns against doing good works for the sake of appearance. If we are truly motivated by love for God or for others, there is no need for a public display of self-justification. In contrast, those who justify their harshness or criticism by invoking others or a righteous cause are often more concerned with how they are perceived than with the truth of their actions. Luke 18:9-14 shows us the attitude God desires in the parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector. The Pharisee stood and prayed aloud, thanking God that he was not like other men, while the tax collector stood far off, humbling himself before God. Jesus concluded, "For everyone that exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted." Luke 18:14. True righteousness does not need a public stage. It thrives in humility and sincerity. Moreover, James 4:6 reminds us that God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. The act of justifying one's actions publicly, while cloaking them in spiritual language, borders on pride and is in stark contrast to the humility that God desires in his children. If we are honest with ourselves, we must acknowledge that not everything we do is for the sake of others. Sometimes we act simply because it aligns with our preferences, and there is nothing inherently wrong with that, provided we do not cloak it in false spiritual pretense. Honesty and integrity, even about our motives, are far more pleasing to God than a display of outward righteousness. In closing, 1 Peter 5:6 advises, "Humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. Let us remember that our works, motives, and actions are known to God, and it is his judgment that truly matters. There is no need to publicly justify ourselves or cloak our personal desires in spiritual language. True humility speaks for itself, needing no audience." The heart unseen. No need to shout from lofty heights, nor claim my cause in endless fights. For what is pure, God knows it well. No trumpet sound, no tale to tell. The humble heart in silence rests, not seeking praise, nor worldly tests. For in the quiet, truth abides, and grace unfolds where pride subsides. Let not the lips for self defend, nor cloak in light what's mine to bend. For if I stand in truth alone, my actions speak when none are shown. God sees the heart, he weighs the soul. No public post can make it whole. In secret fields where deeds are sown, his love will reap when none have known.